Hello and welcome to the Master Builder Show. My name is Karen Haum. I'm an architect and the COO of Spectra Global Limited. Spectra Global is an architectural design and build company that offers services from inception through design, construction, and we drop the keys in your hands. Today, I'm here to speak with you on something that is solely interior design related, which is one of the services that we offer in our outfit. What do you do when you are given an empty space or even a dilapidated space or building and you are supposed to transform it into an art piece? How do you see a space and observe all the nitty-gritties and fine details that can actually serve as an inspiration for the transformation? How can you be guided to be able to plan ahead so that you can visualize the end product right from the inception? Today I'm going to speak with you on the eye of the designer. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Interior design is a multifaceted discipline in the built environment. It goes beyond art and beautification. It actually offers solutions that are functional, that enhance the quality of life, that beef up and increase the value of properties, that actually add to the well-being of the people and of the society at large. When working on an interior design project, we consider the bones of the facility. I'll come to that very soon. We also look at the locality in which the building or the space is located. We look at the environmental impact. We look at legislation, building code, what we can touch on the structure, what can we knock off, what can we not knock off, that we will not interfere with the integrity of the building. We go through a whole process from the very first meeting or the very first phone call with the end user or the client, do analysis, research, interview stakeholders to ensure that at the end of the day, the project that we come out with actually meets and exceeds the expectation of the end users. You know, we spend a lot of time in fact, about 90% of our time, whether living or working, is spent on the inside of the building. So that if there's any impact that a building will have on your well-being, your health and growth and things like that, it all comes from the inside. And that is why interior design is essential. Before we go forward though, let me demystify a few things. So I've heard a lot of people talk about interior deco and decoration and things like that. There's a difference between interior decoration and interior design. Both of them enhance the inside of a building. Decoration has to do with, let's say, the movable things, I call it the makeup of the building. You can't really touch the structure when you are dealing with interior decoration. So you can basically use things like accessories, paints, carpets, movable furniture. That is decoration for you. But when we are talking about interior design, we are looking at things that actually touch the floor, things that actually touch the walls, things that have an impact on the ceiling, and even things that you can actually be able to modify the structure to create something that is totally new altogether. So that there are things that an interior decorator can do, but when it comes to interior design, the interior decorator has some limitations. And therefore, even the knowledge base for you to be able to serve in either arms is different. An interior designer understands the structural integrity of the building. They understand the science of lighting. They understand the science of colors. They understand the impact of fabrics and what it does to the skin and what it does to the space and the weight and so on and so forth. Those are some of the things that when you are looking at an interior design project, you need to be mindful of. So that if you have to modify how a floor looks like, if you have to break some walls or introduce new walls, if you have to modify the ceiling, if you have to change doors and windows and things like that, you need to understand structures. Okay? So that's the basic differences between the work of an interior designer and what an interior decorator does. So as an interior designer, what process do I go through when I'm faced with a challenge? After speaking with their clients and going to see the property or the project, sometimes they send me pictures, sometimes they send me the drawings. Those are basic information that I need to gather from the beginning. I'll visit the site or the location of the building. I'll do what I call the site analysis. So the site analysis, I'll look at both the building itself that I'm assigned to, and then I also look at the environment in which the building is located. Are there features on the facade, on the street that the building is located, that I can glean some ideas from? What has the client mentioned? Is it a word? Is it a phrase? Or the client's family or the staff that have they mentioned that I can glean some ideas from to form my concept? So having done my analysis of the site and the location, I then come up with the concept development. The concept is something that guides you. It's like a principle that guides you at the end of the day what you are going to be able to achieve. So the concept guides you through the initial sketches, all the way to material selection, to lighting design. All of those things are informed by the concept that I'll come up with as an interior designer. After my initials, then I'll go through the initial sketches, the mood board. So the mood board basically helps me to communicate to my client what I have in mind, the color schemes, the materials I'm thinking about, which aspects of the building that we'll need to touch, which aspects that we have to introduce, and so on and so forth, for the clients to give a thumbs up, or if there's the need for any changes to be made. How do I get inspiration? I get inspiration from anywhere and everywhere. Even when I'm relaxing, I get inspiration. When I go to the client site, I get inspiration. When I'm watching a movie, I get inspiration. Relaxing in a garden, I get inspiration. At the end of the day, as an interior designer, I have to consistently feed my memory bank, my creativity bank, so that when the opportunity comes, I'm already loaded with something to give. So with all that inspiration that I've been gathering, and with what the client has communicated to me, I then come up with my concept, and then I go on to develop the scheme. The scheme development, we have various stages. We have the preliminary stages that is all about analysis and interaction, trying to understand what the client, or what the client could be an organization or a family, what they want. And then I translate that into sketches, put my material samples together, my 3D designs. So after that phase is done, where I show the client the pictorial impression of what they are likely to get when the implementation is completed. Then we now come to the technical drawings, where we now put measurements to things. We now check weights of stuff. If we want to hang a chandelier somewhere, how much does this chandelier weigh? Can the beam or the structure of the building itself support the weight? And so on and so forth. If we want to modify the staircase or introduce another staircase. So that is where the science part and the structural part comes in. If I'm not sure of the structural integrity of the building, I have to talk to my structural engineer to come and do an analysis for me to make sure that anything that I want to introduce, the structure can actually support it. And you don't want to end up collapsing somebody's building in an attempt to rather enhance its beauty. So after that, we put the cost into it, and then we move to site. Now, the eye of the designer. The eye of the designer is such that he or she can see the end of every single space, right from the beginning or right from the initial meeting. When the designer goes into the bare space, or in whatever state it is, the ability to determine what will work and what will not work, the eye of the designer can catch it. Fine details of things that can be maintained, or details of things that has to be changed, or things that can just be spruced up a little bit, the eye of the designer can catch it. The eye of the designer can tell what the budget is likely to be depending on what the client has communicated and the experience of the designer. I hope I've been able to shed a little light on what the interior design does and the eye of the designer. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. You can interact with us on all our social media handles at Spectral Global Limited, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, Spectra Global. See you next time. Bye.